Oh, hello, here I will list bad things in every Dragon Ball Z game on Roblox. I will only list in-game stuff. I won't list things like no updates or slow developers because it's known. 95% of Dragon Ball Z games on Roblox are slow and don't update much anyways. Let's start. Starting with one of my favorite DBZ games. 1. Dragon Ball DBZ Generations. The game is amazing and lots of work get put into it, but what really ruins it for me and to almost everyone without them realizing is that the game is quantity-based rather than quality. It makes a lot of things feel the same, which makes the game kind of bland. And what makes quantity worse is if everything is easily accessible. A lot of work get put into things the community has no much interest in, like making 20 versions of each move. This time, I won't mention the million races we have as an example. Like how we have 14 races based on filler characters or characters that got like 2 minutes screen time in the show, and how most of the races don't represent what they are in the show. Because the owner had to narrow each race ability for all the races' abilities to be equally basic beside the Majin race. Anyways, the game has many examples of quantity. We'll list a few. Tiny example of quantity over quality is ranked titles. But who cares about PvP ranked titles anyways? No one cares and no one will, because you can get titles for almost doing nothing. They became irrelevant the moment they got based on quantity. You can get titles for the silliest things. Just read the titles on the video. Like, punch 5 times for the Ultimate Puncher title. Just made it up, but it might actually be in the game. Might as well get a title for walking 5 steps. Title, Ultimate Walker. And there doesn't need to be a ranked title for every single move in the game or for every single outfit you wear. Third example of quantity over quality is power-up moves. Great idea, but bad execution. A lot of them feels extra and so unneeded. Just read them, they are self-explanatory. They overcomplicated them and downgraded the idea the moment they based it on quantity. The point I am making out of these examples like titles and moves is the way they are implemented. They are great ideas, but the way they are implemented and executed ruined them in a way. In a better explanation, nothing holds value in this game. Let's say you grinded for some epic hard to get ranked title. No one will care. They will probably think you won a match using the Cyan armor to get the title. The game has a lot of things, but they don't have the vibe or feelings of, quote, everyone will be surprised when they know I unlocked this very rare and hard to get power-up move or title or fighting style. Everything feels like free to get, like these test form showcase or roleplay games. I don't know how to describe it correctly, but it's like the game has no sense of how to put a value to moves or items or anything, maybe because there's a million things in every category in the game. Like, for example, you can't tell a strong move from a weak move when they all are priced the same and all are easily accessible. It gives no reason for the player to buy the bad move, if he knows which one is the bad move, of course. Anyways, this is it for Dragon Ball Online Generations. If I keep listing examples, I won't be over. So let's move to the next game. 2. Dragon Ball Z Final Stand. The worst thing in this game is balance. The balance is awful and a mess. Example of bad balance are the races, moves, stats, everything basically. I have done lots of races comparisons over the years, and the difference between the top 3 races and the rest is big. It kind of makes sense for some races to suck, like the human race, but the Frieza and Majin race deserve much more than what they have. And beside the races, the game balance overall between players with rebirth and prestige and so on is a mess. Another bad thing in the game is accessibility. Like, for example, if you go to Namek, you can't go back to Earth unless you rejoin the game. And if you join a raid and lose or win, you will get kicked instead of a back to game button. And also, if you enter the time chamber and get disconnected, then you will have to wait a whole day to join it again. Everyone who played it will know the struggle. Anyways, I don't have anything else in mind to list. If you have some, tell me in the comments. Next game. Dragon Soul. And one of them is pacing. The game has a lot of cool stuff to do, but it's too focused on story quests that makes people get forced to care less about anything else besides leveling up and doing quests. It's like being blindfolded. And you can never really take a break. You can't enjoy the game and what it has unless you reach max level. And to do so, you need to do a ton of story quests. And you can't buy any form or any move unless you complete their story quests. Almost everything in the game is attached to story quests. And as I said, you can't really enjoy what the game has unless if you are maxed. I like story quests. I'm not hating on story quests, but not everything should be story quests related. They need to level it up a notch, like having a next phase or stage of grinding and leveling that doesn't rely much on story quests. It's like the game is squeezed in a small hole, while it required a way bigger hole. Players' attention should be driven more on what other things the game offers, like drops and raids. Like for example, if raids give an amount of Zeni or XP, then players will be forced to jump on the train slowly. Anyways, this is it for Dragon Soul. You guys comment below if there is anything you don't like about the game. The developers are always open to feedbacks and suggestions. Next game. Dragon Ball Rage. So what is bad about this game? Everything. Next game. Just joking. If I will have to list something, then I will list what I always hated in this game since 2017. The map. I really dislike how the map is empty and spaced apart. What I mean is islands are very far apart with nothing to do in them beside auto-clicking. In 2017, I used to fly for ages just to find a single player in the server. And the map format didn't change since 2017. It only became bigger and worse. The game can be a little better if it gets a proper map. Next game.